Hi guys, welcome to Robin Hood Diaries today. I'm glad you could join me, especially today, as always, every day. I preview today as things that I was specifically trained to do pursuant to the director of the movie Fun with Dick and Jane. Now, I'm going to stretch this out a little bit. The preview was not that misleading. It just maybe wasn't all inclusive of where I've decided to go with this. I'm going to intersperse comparisons to E.T. Very brief. I know that E.T. is a snooze fest in terms of views, and probably a lot of us are maybe a little tired of hearing about E.T., but this is a compare and contrast of filmmakers, but more specifically having to train or training actors or performers for that movie, let's say television or film. Now, one little thing as a nothing kind of thing, but let's just please keep in mind, I'm not blowing my own horn, but by 1974, I was working with seasoned, often well-known directors in film and television, 74, who had been working for 20, 30 years. Not someone who had been working for 4 years. Well, 5 if you include that stint with Joan Crawford. But anyway, so I had been trained to do things for films. If I was expected to do something, I was told about it, asked about it, and or trained to do it. 2 cases in point. One, of course, being Fun with Dick and Jane, because that's where we're going with this, right? But I'm going to intersperse things, and I don't want them to come across as jabs. It's really compare and contrast here, guys, and maybe it's an edification for future filmmakers or not. I don't really know. I want to say I don't care either, but I care because I'm sharing with you guys, so obviously I care enough to share with you guys. Anyway, so let's just get to the Fun with Dick and Jane part. First of all, I was in the script, the Billy, the son of the Dick and the Jane from the old Dick and Jane books from when we were all in kindergarten. That's the story of Fun with Dick and Jane. They had a son named Billy, obviously I'm Billy. So in the script, I was supposed to make a ruckus by practicing drums. And I was also supposed to be skateboarding around the place, particularly the scene where she's having them rip out the foliage in the front because she can't afford to pay for it. So skateboarding, drumming, okay? Ted Kotcheff, a very seasoned and very good director. Now we're in 75 going into 76. And he had me, and also ski practicing machine. So Paramount, had me with people training regularly prior to shooting on skateboarding at over the weekend at a public school called Highland Park, I think deep in the valley of San Fernando Valley, drumming at home. The guy would bring a tom-tom and his own stuff to my home on Fairholme, where I was living during the mid-70s. And then, of course, we had the ski practice machine thing, which they wanted me to go on once so that I didn't flail around the first time. Funny story, that was the first day of shooting for Fun with Dick and Jane. Very brief sidebar. In one of my 2 films with Liz Montgomery, which we've all heard ad nauseum about, the entire sequence of the opening and closing of the film is she and I riding 10 speeds along whatever, the Golden Gate Bridge, and then there's that whatever that goes along the shoreline, where I don't know what it's like now, but people were riding bikes.